You don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, it's part of the show. Didn't they teach you to reach for the stars while opening up the bars and keeping you chained down with mortgage bills and cars? Vaccines for your arms, kids sounding like supercharged, caffeinated hate-filled scars and rage-quit repertoires. No answers for yards, caught up in emotion that's not even yours. Imposter truths like impeccable retards, lined up for your serving of Gish Galloping wars. No remedy can save the lost, in love with the yarn. I'm tired of walking into refracted shards, poor science displayed by disgusting bards. Soaked in sin with your dupe is delight in a new hand of cards. Been so long, seems like for love I'm just too hard, I'm just too hard. I said, welcome to the show, where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know. Intoxicated eight makes you believe you're spinning in space while you have no shame or grace. It's a disdainful state I used to contemplate, how to save myself from my own self-hate. Wonder why I was even made with a dreadful fate, forced to try and awake with a full plate. No one to help me stay awake or educate. I've had to liberate and fight through hidden gates. But my brother, heaven could never be late, and rockets don't work in space. It's all fake, the show is on Mars. It's a joke, but you're too far gone, it won't be long. Fepe's beak is strong. We have our song and we march along like streams of knowledge leading to God's holy pond, and lives of truth that hits the bong and sings the song, turns mankind from the wrong. We come in peace with a holy gown and all of us wearing our holy crowns. So the earth is flat and we probably just won't get along, just to go along. I said, welcome to the show, where you don't know if it's part of the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know, you don't know.
Before we get into our regular scheduled program, I'm going to run a clip from one of my favorite shows. I hope it becomes one of yours. You can find a link to it in the description box below. This is Ironworks.
Good morning, TFR. Good morning, Truth Frequency Radio. You are listening to the Ironworks. My name is Josh Corey. I am joined this morning by my good friend and my co-host, one Mr. Walter Johnson. Walt, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, or should I say, oi, oi, oi. If that music didn't get you ready for a day, I don't know what will. Josh, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm better than I deserve, Walt. Better than I deserve. I am really looking forward to this morning's episode. I think it's going to be good.
We're excited. We have an amazing guest, Martin Leakus, sir, Flat Earth British, mud, flood, historian extraordinaire. I'll stop blowing smoke, sir. Welcome to the Ironworks. We're so glad to have you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Walt, Josh, Adam. Good morning. Many blessings to you. That was epic.
Welcome to the show. you don't know if it's part of the show.
Welcome to Red Hen Radio, where truth fears no investigation. What do you know? What do you believe? Who are you? Where did you come from? Where are you going? How will you determine the way? What you think is news for you is only and absolutely propaganda. It's spin. There is no news for you. Only misdirection and disinformation. Join us here at Red Hen Radio as we discover how to squint when what we see isn't what ought to be. Because truth is not counterintuitive. Reading between the lines of the story you were just fed. I'm your host, Travis Finley. Welcome to the show. Do you know that you're part of the show?
Well, you don't know if it's part of the show.
Welcome back to another exciting adventure of Red Hen Radio. I'm your host, Travis Finley. Hello. What? Oh. I could give Owen Benjamin a run for his money. I know I can. I know I could. Speaking of Owen Benjamin, here is a little clip from one of his recent... Here, take two. Owen Benjamin plug, take two. Here's a little clip from one of Owen's most recent episodes, and I laughed out loud. He's absolutely hilarious and funny.
Chickity check yourself. Hi, everybody. I'm just doing a kind of a spontaneous one stream here. I streaming with the bears, and a buzzkill jumps into my chat and pisses everyone off. My steady hand is strong and still, waiting for a big bear band to go, when to get the go. And I ban all night and day. I will ban what's that you say. You're banned, you can't say. Good times. Hello. So someone gave my son a book, and tonight I was really excited to read it to him, because Amy was like, oh, we got a discovery history book for Walter. And I'm like, oh my God, is Walter at the age where we can talk about history and science and facts and answers like my favorite thing in the world? It's all lies. So we're going to go through 1,000 questions and answers, and we're going to analyze what is not even close to real that's in this. So I'm just skipping ahead. It's the most obvious, intense propaganda is aimed at children. And I think that's why there is a big disconnect with parents and non-parents with some of these issues. What's his name? Dane Cook used to have a good joke where he was like, you can always tell when someone has herpes, because when a herpes commercial comes on, they're like, everyone shut up, I got to hear this. It's similar with parents. Like, you'll see guys like me just spiral about, certain things about public school and what they're teaching kids and what they're doing to kids and stuff. And then you'll see people that it just doesn't apply to them at all because they don't have kids and they don't think they're ever going to have kids. Like, they just don't even connect at all. And Hang on. Owen, why does your wife make you go outside now? Geez, it's cold. Well, I don't know. Now you're banned for life. Because obviously my wife doesn't make me go outside. I'm a man. Men who buy the home and marry the woman don't get kicked out of their own house by the woman. And for you to ever even assume that means you're now banned for life. And I ban all night and day. You're now banned because you are gay. You're fucking gay. All right, so before we...
I could give Owen Benjamin a run for his money. I know I can. I know I could. I'm just not going to do it. I choose not to. Part of that choice has to do with the fact that I have to figure what the hell I'm going to do with all of this shenanigans I've gotten myself into. It's going to be fun. It's been massively stressful and fun. But that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to put out stuff that I can. I just need you to love me. Just love me. Love me. Because the content is what you're here for, not necessarily the packaging. Although I try to do the best I can. I enjoy this, actually. I enjoy editing and videoing and audioing and whatnot, even though I'm not very good at it. But I like it. Okay, so this is the first installment of my conversation with Alphonse. Alphonse was a guest on Crow 777, and I will try my best to remember to put that show in the show link for you below, so you can call in. So you can subscribe. Listen, you need to subscribe to Crow. Okay, you need to give him his $5 a month for full access because he's got absolute great information and research and all of that. So if you are not yet a subscriber, and I think that most of my listening base has actually come from Crow, and so I want to say thanks to him and Jason for all of their influence in that arena. Okay, let's see. So this is it. So it's 26 minutes or so. And, I don't know. I'm just cutting it up so it's smaller. I don't know. I should have put the whole thing out. I'm not sure. But this is this. I've got others to put out. Feel free always to interact in the chat. And if I can, I'll try to make a comment. But if you really want to engage with me, redhenradio@gmail.com. And let's see. So I think that I'll just let that go and enjoy the show. All right, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like it's going. Oh man. So your email to me is very interesting, and I feel like I would be ill-equipped to go in only with that. So I have questions about it. Do you have any references that I can look up and at least maybe read some things to familiarize myself with what you sent me? Or
do you have the stuff I sent you from Zeke? There's outline that stuff I sent you about. It's got like 3 documents. I think I sent you like 3 or 4 documents.
Yeah, I'll have to go back. If it's something that you've already sent me, then I'll say yes. Then I still have it in my archives.
See, the game is to try and stay out of court. That's our game. We don't want to go. Even though you're in their court, you want to in their court. But the way Zeke does it, what he taught me is you do basically. You're actually sticking with the law. The law is. That cop needed a warrant to pull you over, which he didn't have a warrant. He didn't have a signed warrant to pull you over. Or he needed probable cause, which means he witnessed you commit a crime. You injured somebody or you hit somebody's car and took off, which you didn't do, okay? You got pulled over for a code infraction, all right? You didn't commit a crime. It's a code infraction.
Okay, so let me stop you. Let me stop you with that because that was the tact I took back in the summer when I was first pulled over with my private plates, and the cop pulled me over, and he said, I pulled you over because you don't have registered plates.
and I said something along the lines, do you have any evidence that those codes apply to me? And but before we got there, I did do that. I said, is there an emergency I can help you with? Right. And he said, no, there's no emergency. I pulled you over for blah, blah, blah. And I said, what was your probable cause? And he said, well, you don't have any registered plates. I said, that's not
probable cause.
I said, that's not a crime. He said, yes, it is.
No, that's not probable cause. So what you do is, see, he don't know, and you're not gonna get anywhere debating with the cop at the side of the road. So you just say, okay, you just end the conversation at that point with him. Say, okay, Gad, write me up. Give me your citation. Write me up. Because what you're going to do is when you go into court, or before you go into court, like that letter I gave you, you send a letter to the judge and you send copies to the district attorney and the cop who wrote you up. And the main question you want to ask is, did Officer so-and-so have probable cause for the arrest? Because when you were stopped, you were arrested. Don't believe the bullshit that you're only being detained. No such thing as being detained. There's either arrest or you're not arrested.
Okay, so let's go with that again. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but again, because I have heard this and I don't dispute it, but I'd like to see that rather than hear it again, because I have heard it and it makes sense. I understand what you're saying, because it's the argument that I use on the side of the road. I say, am I free to go? And they say no, and I say, well, I'm under arrest? No. So
yeah, you're under arrest. Like I said, you're not going to get into. You're not going to want to debate with a cop on the side of the road.
Okay, all right.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
He don't know. And guess what? He doesn't know. If that cop tells you that you didn't have plates and that's probable cause, he don't know what the fuck probable cause is. Probable cause is a crime.
Doesn't disqualify him as a witness then, because he can't testify because he's
sure it disqualifies him, but he's never going to get a chance to be a witness, because all you're going to ask the judge. Remember, when you go to traffic court, that's really not a judge. That's a magistrate or a commissioner, however you want to look at him. Okay, he's supposed to be an impartial third party kind of thing. So when you walk into traffic court, they want to talk about the code you broke. You don't care about the code. You just have a question for the judge. Judge, did Officer so-and-so have probable cause for the arrest? Because that's an arrest. And when he writes that citation, that's proof that he arrested you. Because that's proof that he stopped you on the side of the road and he gave you a citation.
So let me ask you this question then. Is there a difference in knowledge? It's almost like the Masonic level of knowledge. Like the judge knows the terms. The cop is a low-level peon, so he doesn't know. He's just a dope. So does the cop not know he's arresting me by simply stopping me?
He may not know he's arresting you. He may think he's detaining you, okay? But there's no detained. You'll never find detained in any kind of, even in their codes, you'll never find detained. There's arrest and there's not arrest, okay? If you're not free to go somewhere, you're under arrest. Whether he officially arrests you by reading your Miranda rights doesn't matter. You're under arrest. When you can't leave a place, you're under, not only are you under arrest, it's false imprisonment. You're being falsely imprisoned. So not only are you under arrest, you're being falsely imprisoned.
Okay,
you can't leave.
Okay, so here we go. So I was arrested on Saturday. So,
with no warrant and no probable cause.
Okay. So, in my opinion, doesn't that then give me? I've been wrestling. I've been stressed out, dude, this whole week. When I think about what you're telling me, I get empowered because I believe the content. But when I think about the possibility of getting railroaded, I get stressed out. So, even though I spent 9 hours kidnapped and caged on Saturday, the whole debacle should be thrown out because there was no probable cause to begin with.
There's no probable cause, and he didn't have a warrant to stop you. Okay?
Correct. Okay. So
that's in the dude. That's the Constitution. That's the fourth. That's number 4 in the Constitution of the United States.
Right. But see, that's where
it'll be in the first 6 or 8. You'll find it. You'll see it right there.
No, I agree.
Pennsylvania's number 8.
Because I looked.
Read what it says. No search or seizure can happen without basically a warrant issued, but a warrant backed by probable cause. That means someone's got to go to a judge and say, "Hey, Travis, this guy's he's he's murdering children, and I got proof of it. And they swear an oath or affirmation that you're doing some horrific thing, a crime or something. And the judge goes, okay, I'll sign off on that, and the judge will sign a warrant, okay? Then the cop goes out and picks you up. That the cop's only duty is he can only execute orders, and an order is a warrant. He can only execute a warrant, judgments, okay? He's making judicial, which you don't have judicial power to do. Okay, he's looking at you going and making a judicial decision. He can only execute orders. A warrant, probable cause that's the only thing that can overthrow a warrant is probable cause. If he sees you physically harming somebody, he can then arrest you.
Okay, so that's what happened on Saturday because so here's what happened. I did fairly well because I kept my cool, but I didn't do fairly well because I kept talking instead of shutting up like Eddie Craig says to, right? So
yeah, just shut up. Yeah, just shut up. Remember, the cop is not your friend, and you're not going to reason with a cop. I'm sorry.
No. Right. I wasn't reasoning with him necessarily. So the first cop pulls me over. I said, "Is there an emergency officer?" He said, "Well, I saw that you had no plate on the front." And so then I said, "Am I being detained, or am I free to go? Am I under arrest? Am I free to go?" And he said, "Show me your license." And I said, "Do I have the right to remain silent?" And we went back and forth. He's like, "Show me your license." And I said, "I am reserving my right to remain silent. I'm not going to give you my license." So when I said that, he then called for backup. Then his superior officer came and the tag team happened and he took over saying, "Give me your license." And I said, "Do I have the right to remain silent?" He said, "You don't have to speak. Just give me your license." And I said,
"That's the same thing. He's asking you, remember?"
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I said, "I'm reserving the right to remain silent. I'm not giving you my license." And so they took that as obstruction of an investigation and a refusal to obey a police order. So those are the two citations written down. That's what I am going to court over. I am.
All right. Well, did you send a copy of those to me? Because number one, that police officer can give no orders. He's a member of the executive branch. He can only execute orders. He can only execute a warrant issued by a judge, which that's not what he was doing, or he can pull you over for a crime. If he sees you committing a crime, you hit somebody's car and you took off. Right. He didn't witness you committing a crime, okay? He can't issue orders to you. He's not a member of the judiciary. He has no judicial power. He's a member of the executive branch. He's got no judicial power. He cannot execute orders upon you, give you orders for something. And all you did is you exercised your Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate yourself. And do I have a right to remain silent?
Yeah, well, what happened was the other officer went on the passenger side and whipped out his baton, extended it, threefold, and was waving it like, "Buddy, just give me an opportunity and I'm going to smash this window in," right? So he was trying to intimidate me. So what I said was, "Am I being physically threatened? Am I being threatened right now? Am I being threatened right now? I am under duress. I am afraid. I feel like I'm being threatened." And he's like, "Just give me your license and we won't." He's like, "You are either coming out of this car willfully or we're dragging you out." And at that moment, he put his hands up on my window, hunched his shoulders like he was going to... Oh, I'm sorry to tell you. I was recording the whole time. I had my phone up. He knew I was recording. And so he puts his hands on my window. He hunches his shoulders up like he's going to rip my window off the hinge. And that's where I went, "Ho, ho, 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 ho."
Well, you didn't disobey an order. All you did is you exercised a right. Basically, you said, "Do I have a right, to remain silent?" Sure, you do. That's a Miranda. That's what they would read you when they arrested you.
No.
So I'm saying you did. It's not like he's acting like they're trying to write it up so that you did something, like they told you to do something that you didn't want to do, that you refused to do. No. All you did is you didn't refuse anything. All you said is, "Hey, do I have a right not to incriminate myself?"
Okay, so here we go. So I give my license over. All right? And I'm driving. So I handed him my license.
That's fine. Okay. Under duress. Okay, so what?
But it incriminated me because I was driving on a suspended license. So then he walks back and he goes, "You're driving on a suspended license. That's an arrestable offense. You're being arrested right now." They did not read my rights.
Here's where you're getting caught up. It's not about what you're doing. It's about what he's doing. Does he have a warrant to stop you? No.
But
does he have probable cause? No. We don't care what you're doing at this point. I don't care what you're doing.
Okay. I hear all that you're saying, and what you're saying, it makes sense in my ears, and it sounds good, and it's empowering me. But what I'm saying to you is the language they're using to me is we had probable cause. We had probable cause.
But he that's what he's writing, okay? That's what he put down. But a judge didn't rule on that yet. You got to get a judge to rule on that. Hey, so have probable cause for the arrest. And it's got to be no. No, he didn't have probable cause. Because, and if he says, well, you didn't have time, say, Judge, hold on. Is that a crime that I didn't have? That's not a crime that you didn't have, okay? That there's nobody injured. That's not a crime. That's a code infraction, okay? He wrote you up for a code infraction. That's not the law. That's a code infraction. The law is that there's got to be an injured party, a real party in interest, and you have to have an opportunity to cross-examine whoever's making this claim against you or this complaint against you that you've injured them somehow. You can't interview the cop.
Okay.
the cop, he didn't get injured. He can't be a witness and a prosecutor.
Okay, so here we go.
He needs a warrant. You're getting hung up in what you did. Don't worry about what you did. What you want to ask the cop is, ask the judge is, hey, Judge, did Officer so-and-so have probable cause for the arrest?
All right, here we go now.
He's got to make a judicial decision on that, okay? You got to make that judge make a decision. And let him make a decision that officer had probable cause. Because guess what? Then it's appealable, even in their courts. Then you appeal it. And that's going to go to another judge. And listen, he doesn't have probable cause. Probable cause is not that you didn't have license plates or you didn't have tags or insurance. That's not probable cause. And the cop may not know that. Most of them are dummies. They don't know it. But the judges know. Judge knows what probable cause is.
Okay, so here we go. You ready now? Okay. Tuesday, I had a separate trial because of a previous infraction or a previous code violation where I think I might have talked to you about this already, but I was driving in a closed lane. But it wasn't physically closed off with barriers. It was just X'd off, and the reason for the lane closure was a disabled vehicle. Well, I passed the disabled vehicle, and I figured that was probably the reason for the lane closure. I'm moving back into the lane. Well, the cop followed me over the bridge, pulled me over, wrote me a citation. So I had it continuance and continuance and continuance for as long as I could get away with it. And they finally said, look, you need to appear in court or whatever. So I showed up for the arraignment. I tried to argue on the fact that their codes don't apply to me and the state has not produced any evidence that the code applies to me. And
I got exactly what you're saying. And here's where you run into problems. You moved on to C. You're arguing C, D, and E. Let's not even go to C, D, and E.
Well, I didn't know about your A and B.
When you walked in that court, okay, I don't care what it's for, when you walked in that court, was there an official complaint filed against you? Did the district attorney have a complaint filed against you?
I would say it was just a citation. He's just going on the fact that I broke the code.
It was just a citation. A citation is not a complaint. Okay, that cop citation is not a complaint. Complaints have requirements. You need to name a plaintiff. You need to name a defendant. You need to name a cause of action. And you need to properly serve it to somebody, which usually it's somebody 18 years of age that is not a party to the suit, serves that summons to you, okay? That's a legitimate action. That's a cause of action. That summons and that notice to appear. The notice to appear is not a summons, and that ticket is not it means it has no lawful force until you give it lawful force. So when you walk in that court, if there's not a complaint filed by the district attorney, because that's who would file it against you, which they never are in traffic cases, if there's no complaint filed against you in that court has no jurisdiction over anything. There's no complaint. There's no complaint there. What are we arguing about? Why am I here? Party. The cop can't be the complainant. He can't be the complainant and the witness. The district attorney has to file on behalf of the people, which you'll never do. You'll never do in a traffic case. And if he does, well, he has no client. You need to be able to question the people of New York or the people of California. You can't question the people in New York when the district attorney files a suit, which he never does. So when you walk into that court and that district attorney doesn't have a complaint filed against you, which he didn't in that traffic thing you just went to, that court has no jurisdiction. Your Honor, what are we doing here? There's no complaint filed before this court. This court has no jurisdiction without a complaint filed before it. You got to have a complaint. So someone's got to be there for redress. They're trying to get, you've injured them in some way, and they're trying to get compensation back. You didn't injure the cop. He brought you in on a code infraction.
Right. So what I saw when I was given the citation, the prosecuting attorney came over and he goes, "Here's your citation. If you want to look over it, you'll see the fees and whatever that you're going to be charged." He said, "I can offer you right now $75, or you can take your chance with the full 115 or whatever." I said, "No, I'll present myself and be my own counsel." And as I was looking through the description, it said victim payment or victim something or other. So there was a $15 fee for a victim. And I'm like, where the fuck is the victim?
Where's the victim?
What is this? There's no victim. So it's all this code infraction. Like, so the state doesn't exist. The code doesn't exist. So
get that out of your head. Listen, get the capital name thing out of your head. Get the state out of get all that out of your head. We're just going to go to the basics of what the real law is. The real law says for them to interact with you, a cop, he needs a warrant or he needs probable cause. They're the only two ways a cop can interact with you. A warrant that somebody swore against you, that the cop's coming out to pick you up for, or he witnessed you committing a crime. You speeding or not signaling or flipping your car, I don't care what you did. As long as you didn't injure somebody, that's not probable cause.
Okay, so are you ready for this now? All right, so Saturday I get arrested, I get kidnapped, I get caged for 9 hours, I get released, I acquiesce because my livelihood depends upon my, I'm a CDL driver, right? So I can't lose my license. So I go into the MVA, I post fines on my fines so that it's in limbo right now pending the trial or pending the hearing or whatever it is, right? So if I win, I get my money back. If I lose, the money gets, it's still there. Okay, so I go and I get my temporary license back on paper because they're going to issue me a new one because it was supposed to be renewed this year anyway. Okay, so that happens Monday. Yesterday, 8 o'clock in the morning, I borrow my friend's car because my other car doesn't have tags, and they're looking for me, and I'm not going to go drive in my car right now without any tags. So I get in my friend's car at my apartment, and this trooper is trolling my alley. And he passes by me real slow, and I kind of watch him. I'm like, I have never seen a cop come down this alley. They're trolling me. So I wait for him to go down the block just to see. I pull out, and I just go the normal way that I normally go. I get out on the main road. I got 3 troopers behind me. They arrest me again. They pull me over, and they come up to my window, and he says, "License, please," because he thought that I didn't have my license, and he was going to nail me again. So there was absolutely no probable cause because I was driving a car that had plates, and I did not violate any traffic code. So he simply pulled me over because he was harassing me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you violated their codes or not. But what I'm saying is, can't I bring charges against him, like for harassment or something? Or no, you're going to get nowhere with that. Oh, dude, we're just going to stick with the basics. Okay. Did he have a warrant? No. Did he have probable cause? Judge, what's he doing messing with me? Judge, the law says he's got to have a warrant. He's got to have probable cause. Judge, did he have probable cause?
Okay, but that's what I'm asking you. Do I bring up, because I wrote it down on my computer. I took a little log, like a little diary, to write down the event itself because I don't have any other way of. And I'm sure that they had to call.
Judge don't care. He don't give a shit. I'm telling you, dude, he don't care.
No. But what I'm saying is, do I bring it up? Do I?
No. Dude,
Okay.
Don't go to B, C, and D. Let's stick on A. Hey, Judge. He didn't have a warrant. He didn't have probable cause. Did he have probable cause for the arrest, Judge?
Okay.
You got to make him. And remember, when you submit a motion, you've got to set up a hearing for the motion to be heard. For the motions to be heard. So that gives the other side to argue against it. But dude, he can't argue against that. They don't have probable cause. That's the whole game. It's basic. It's very basic. We're not moving on to B, C, D, and E yet. We're going to stick right on A. Hey. Yeah, I did that thing, whatever, I was in the wrong lane, whatever. bottom line is, when you're in that court, a traffic court, remember, the only way a court can attempt to get jurisdiction or complaint filed against you, and the way that is I'd have to go file a complaint against you, against Travis, and then I'd have to have you properly served. And if I fuck that up, if I don't serve you properly, my complaint's null and void. Not only do I have to have the complaint filled out properly, I got to serve you properly. You don't have judicial authority to go tell you to be here and do this and do that. They don't have that, but they got people bullshitted to believe they have this authority. We're going back to the very basics. We're using the real law. The actual law is the warrant or he needs probable cause. And we ain't moving away from that until that's ruled on. And judge, did he have probable cause for the arrest? Well, Mr. Travis, you didn't have any plates. Judge, is that a crime? Is that probable cause, Judge? Is that probable cause, Judge? You make him, he knows it's not probable cause. He knows it's a code infraction. Judge, is that a code infraction? Isn't that a code, it's a code infraction, and he knows it's a fucking code infraction. They know the law, the judges. He knows what the law is. When you say, Judge, did Officer so-and-so have probable cause? You make him make a ruling. Because if he rules that you didn't have plates and that's probable cause, all you got to do is appeal that. They're just judge going to look at that and go, that's not probable cause.
Okay,
not having
so
plates is not probable cause.
All right, so I have the...
So wait, that's the first thing you need to get in your head, okay? Number two, hey, Judge, I'm in in traffic court. Is there a verified complaint filed with this court? Well, what do you mean, Mr. Travis? We got you're here for this code. Judge, is there a verified complaint filed with this court? Is there a plaintiff? I don't see a plaintiff, Judge. If there's not a complaint filed with that court, how can that court have jurisdiction over you? It can't. The only way a court can start to get jurisdiction over you is I have to file a complaint against you, and I have to serve you a summons. And then you have to answer to that, okay? Then that court can start to try and get jurisdiction over you at that point. Because we went through the official process. I brought you into court officially. I'm trying to bring you into court officially. So now you have to answer to the court, okay? That's not what's happening here, okay? There's not a complaint filed against you. District attorney didn't file a complaint against you. Were you sent a complaint? No. You were sent a citation. You got a citation, not a complaint. Citation is not a complaint, and a notice to appear is not a summons.
Notice to appear is not a summons, yeah.
They're trying to make you believe they are, but they're not.
Right.
Remember, the only way you can summon somebody is you have to file against them and then serve them properly.
Right.
They can serve you a summons properly. Then you're summoned, okay? If we don't do that...
What's interesting about this is where probable cause overrules the need for a warrant, right? So if you think that there's going to be a
That's exactly what it's there for. That's there for so that if the cop's looking at somebody, he's got an axe, he's chasing a guy, okay? He can't say, let me go run to the judge. Yeah, let me run to the judge and get a fucking warrant. That's why they put probable cause in there, okay? Right. But that's a crime, okay? They've got people believing code infractions are crimes, okay? And what you need to know is if there's no verified complaint, all verified means if somebody swore an oath or affirmation that you did something to them. If there's no verified complaint filed before that court, that traffic court, that court has no jurisdiction over you.
So then technically what should have happened then is, or what needs to happen is, if he saw that my car doesn't have a plate, he should have gone to the judge, said, look, I saw Travis Finley, he's driving, I saw him, he does not have a plate, and that's a code violation, sir. We've got to go get him. Write me a warrant. So the
judge would never issue a warrant for that.
No, but you understand what I'm saying. He would have to go through that ridiculous process.
Yes.
And then by then, I'm gone and he doesn't know where I'm at, so he pulls me, I totally, everything that you're saying, Alphonse, everything that you're saying, I completely follow. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I am even now more empowered to kick ass.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
All right, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that this is beneficial. I hope it's intriguing. I hope that you will investigate and take steps toward applying these principles that I think are very commonsensical. Just depends on whether or not you want to fight the fight, right? And that's up to you. Only you can make that decision. Only you can prevent forest fires. So please make sure that you subscribe if you have not done so already, and hit that bell notification so that you can be kept up to date with live streams or hangouts or new episodes. And please share, as sharing increases the listening audience, and then also perhaps when we have an open panel, it'll increase the dialogue and interaction with everyone. Also, make sure that you like, and I think that's it. Until next time.
Welcome to the show. If you don't know, it's part of the show.